I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it in there, I feel I could not be hurt. In my moment of pain, when I was 5 times in jail for a crime I didn't commit, while every other black person, I mean, whoever they was f***ing babies in the ass or bitches and cutting them in 50 pieces, these niggas got support. I go to jail for a crime everybody know I did not commit, get shot 5 times, and I'm getting in jail, wompty, wompty. They just say anything to assassinate my character. What that showed me, remember this lack of a conscience when I come out.
Katt Williams is back again, and he just went off on Diddy for allegedly being behind Tupac and Biggie's death. A lot of people have been accusing Diddy of having something to do with their deaths, but this time, Katt is also stepping into the chat with his own allegations. And he even claimed that this is why he decided to go in on Diddy this year and encourage more folks to come out and expose him. The crazy thing is, Eminem also accused Diddy of taking out Tupac and Biggie, but a whole lot of people thought he was just trolling. To make matters even worse, a man claiming to be the one who put the bullet in Tupac also came out and said he was paid by Diddy to take Pac out. But Diddy somehow got ahead of the story and paid several higher-ups to stop the investigation. However, with all these revelations coming back up again, Tupac and Biggie might finally get the justice they deserve. And Katt is right in the middle of it. Just before Pac and Biggie died, they were both in a very nasty feud with Diddy. It all started with the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud, and at the time, Biggie was signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy Entertainment, while Tupac was signed to Suge Knight at Death Row. Now, y'all already know Diddy and Suge hate the living hell out of each other, but for a long time after Biggie and Pac died, it was speculated that they were just used as the sacrificial lambs in this beef. They both died in drive-by shootings within just 6 months of each other, and up until this day, the police still haven't figured out exactly who it was that took them out and the reasoning behind it. In fact, despite the rivalry between the East and West Coasts and the rivalry between Diddy and Suge, Biggie and Pac were actually cool, especially at the start of Biggie's career when he left New York and moved to California. He met Tupac while he was there, and at some point, he was even crashing on Pac's couch. Biggie even wanted Tupac to be his manager, but Pac turned it down and told him to stick with Diddy because Diddy had the power to make his career really big. Even though Pac and Biggie were close at some point, they fell out in 1994 when Pac got shot during a recording session at Quad Studios. He reportedly gave Biggie the finger while he was being carried out on a stretcher. He later revealed in an interview with Vibe that he suspected that Biggie and Diddy set him up that night to have him taken out. A lot of people did not believe that Biggie had anything to do with it, but they believed that Diddy definitely did. And he intentionally put Biggie in the situation to cause a rift between him and Pac, and it worked, because right after that, Pac started dissing Biggie.
Half of New York, half of the major New York rappers, or they managers, or they agents, or they somebody was there when I got shot. And nobody could give me no information. Just study that.
So do you think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. Right. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. Right. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue. I sold 5 million in 2 months. Biggie album been out 2 years. He's barely touching 2 million. This nigga had 50 remixes, 1,000. He got everybody in New York in his videos and still barely touching 2 million. I've been out 2 months. My shit sold 5 million with 2 videos out. I'm just starting. These can't touch us. They can't. They can't. Really, it's funny.
Pac later released his infamous diss track against Bad Boy titled Hit 'Em Up, and he did not shy away from name-dropping the entire label. He said, F Mobb Deep, F Biggie, F Bad Boy as a staff, record label, and as a crew. And if you want to be down with Bad Boy, then F you too. As if these jabs weren't already direct enough, he also did impersonations of Biggie, Diddy, and Lil' Kim in the video. Apparently, the reason why he felt the need to put this song out was because he felt real disrespected by Biggie's song Who Shot Ya. But none of them stopped Biggie from clapping back in a song, Long Kiss Goodnight, and Diddy later came out and said that Long Kiss Goodnight wasn't a diss track to Pac, and that if Biggie wanted to diss Pac, he would have mentioned his name. Well, it turns out that the reason that Diddy didn't bother to make Biggie clap back at Pac was because he had other plans as to how he was gonna get his lick back, and that plan was allegedly to take Pac's life. On September 7th, 1996, a few months after Hit 'Em Up was released, both Pac and Suge were involved in a drive-by shooting while leaving the infamous fight between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon. They were leaving the MGM Hotel, waiting at a red light near the Vegas Strip, when a white Cadillac pulled up next to them and erupted. Police and paramedics took Suge and Pac to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, where Pac was later pronounced dead to a respiratory failure that led to cardiac arrest after the removal of his right lung. Just 6 months after this, Biggie was also taken out in a drive-by shooting. A Chevy Impala SS pulled up alongside Christopher Wallace's Suburban after a vibe after party. The driver of the Impala, a black male, rolled down his window, drew a 9mm blue steel and fired at the SUV. 4 bullets hit Wallace. At the time, some people accused Suge Knight of orchestrating this attack as a way for Diddy to pay back for allegedly taking out Pac. But other people said it was actually Diddy who did it, and the reason behind this was because Biggie was coming out to expose everything he knew about Diddy. Apparently, after Pac died, Biggie was feeling real guilty about it, and he was thinking about spilling the tea on what he knew, even if he got called a rat for it. The Los Angeles Times fueled these rumors when they came out with an article accusing Diddy of having a hand in Biggie and Pac's death, but they were later forced to take it down by Diddy's legal team. But that did not stop the allegations from rolling in, because last year, right before Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy, a man who goes by Keefe Davis was also arrested as a suspect in Pac's murder. When he was asked if Diddy had something to do with it, he said yeah. A documentary titled Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murder was later released by Mike Dorsey, and in this documentary, Mike added an unreleased audio where Keefe said he was struggling to receive $1 million payment from Diddy for carrying out the hit. As if this wasn't all bad enough, Eminem also threw in his own story of what really happened in his song Fuel, Shady's version, in which he flat out accused Diddy of taking out Pac and Biggie. Notorious B.I.G.'s death was the domino effects of Tupac's murder. Like facial tissue, whose card should I clean up next? Puffs? Till he's in handcuffs? Guilty? Will he step up? Like, gee, never turned himself in. Who knows all the they'll have been? Or me mixed up. Prepare for me to not choose none of my words carefully. Now, this is where things get even more messy, because Katt Williams recently stepped into the chat, and he also accused Diddy in all this, specifically the death of Tupac. He called Diddy a demon and said that Diddy's involvement in Tupac's death was actually what made him go on Club Shay Shay and put the industry on blast, because he couldn't stand seeing people like Diddy walking free. He said, "So when I was a young man, Tupac was my favorite artist. I loved Tupac, and I felt like we were kindred spirits. So if I hear you responsible for knocking my off," he said, referring to the ongoing speculation that Diddy may have been involved in Tupac's death. "I don't give a F what job I end up being in. I don't care how things go. If I can get a way to get you, that's what I'm all about. I just don't like you walking around scot-free, because you a demon, and I know demons are powerful, but I know why they're powerful. It's cold spiritual warfare going on out here in the real world, and part of my job is to not lose focus on that." Katt really hates Diddy, y'all, and from the looks of it, he ain't gonna stop until Tupac's real cause of death is revealed. A lot of people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, "Both have the common denominator of Diddy. Both Pac and Biggie survived the streets their whole lives. How you gonna be in gangs and nothing happens to you all those years? Weird how people knew they would both be shot. Definitely hits. No one would do anything like that without being paid. Too risky." Another person said, "Exactly. Diddy took so many lives because of his fragile ego and jealous nature. Time to reap what you sow, Puff." But now I want to know your thoughts. Do y'all really think Diddy had a hand in Tupac and Biggie's death? And do y'all ever think Katt will come out and tell us what really happened? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.